Oh, man, you had me at Neil Smith and Kevin Gogan. Take me back. That was my childhood. And also the carnage that must have ensued after that. If you know, you know. Welcome back. Final hour. Gary Sharp Show, 1620 The Zone. Jimmy Chavez, John Schreiner filling in for Gary, who started it. And then, well, if you know, you know, we were the Don Strock of the operation. We came into, all right, we just aged a lot of people out with that reference. I'm so sorry. I'm going back to my era. Okay, not that one, but this one. And joining us, he needs no introduction, but it's radio. So if you're not watching on Zone TV, you need an introduction. One of the all-time greats to do it. One of my favorite players, period. I'm not just saying, man, you see the Band-Aid on the nose, the home run swing, and quarterbacks running for their life. Former Husker, former Kansas City Chief, and two-time Super Bowl champion with your Denver Broncos, the great Neil Smith joining us in the studio.
Well,
Neil,
thank you, guys. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're in town for a special reason because, guys, you can meet Neil Smith this evening, this afternoon, however you want to, 4 to 6. You can sit, you can talk to the man, and we're going to tell you all about it. Neil, what brings you back to Omaha?
Well, I'm coming back for a reason. I'm I'm ambassador, for the story, and I just want to try to bring awareness, that we're here, we're brand new, and I want you to come out and meet and greet me. You can bring your kids. It's a liquor store, but nevertheless, it's we're here to what?
You can all go, yeah.
Yeah, everybody can come. Everybody come. It's Christmas. Get into the Christmas spirit. Come out and get your early cocktails for your Thanksgiving dinner and the game this week. And I really believe that this is going to be our week that we can pop the bottles maybe and get into the play, get a game going here, where we can get this behind us.
If Neil Smith's saying that, I'm not arguing with him. The store is called Macadoodles. It is at 3409 South 72nd Street here in Omaha. You can admission is free, and you can get some photos. You can get autographs with Neil. They can purchase an 8x10 photo to be signed. Fans are welcome to bring their own memorabilia to be autographed. Got a lot of Chiefs fans here. Got a lot of Husker fans. Got a lot of Bronco fans. Look at that. 3 different fan bases minimum that would like to come meet Neil Smith. That's going to be a fun time because that's 3 different conversations that he can have, and he will enjoy every one of them. And then it gets better. Attendees have a chance to win a signed Neil Smith Husker jersey with an extra raffle ticket for each purchase of Macadoodles with George Remus barrel pick. Winner does not need to be present to win, so there you go. And you can enjoy complimentary tastings the night of the event, adding to the excitement and the atmosphere of Macadoodles. Now, you live now in the Kansas City metro, and so this is a business that has been down there, correct?
Absolutely. I've been in the area in Kansas City ever since I retired. And Kansas City is what it is. Great football right now, and with the Chiefs, and the rivalry game is still in with the Broncos. But when you step out, I have a son here. I have a son that goes to school right down in Lincoln, and this is actually his first year, so he's up and coming receiver, Keelan, and get a chance to see him while I'm here and do a lot of other things. So I'm pretty excited. And Omaha has always been a part of me and my growth. When I was in college, we used to always come up. I had some players that was from here, Keith Jones, Lee Jones, and a lot of guys was from this area that they're still friends today. They were teammates back then, but then we all stay in contact with each other. And some of those guys, and most of them, are going to be coming out tonight. So I saw Tommy Frazier, had Tommy Frazier with dinner with him last night. So it's just good when you go to different places. You see some friends and some old friends from college, man. Those people you never forget.
So give us the report. What has Keelan said about how the season's gone and how his first year on campus has been? How is he liking Lincoln?
Well, I think he's loving Lincoln. It was his decision. He wanted to come here, and he got with Coach Rule, and Coach Rule talked his language, and that's where it starts at. Can you trust and believe in the coach? And I know it's a rough time right now. It's a little struggle. He's still young, and the team is fairly young. Just got to, offensive wise, we just got to try to not keep, the quarterback in such bad situations, long situations, and Nebraska, get your running game going, pound the football, control the game, less mistakes, and I think that they can get over this little slump they're in right now.
So I wanted to ask you specifically about, because Gary Sharp, the regular host of the show.
Yeah, Gary, I'm holding your hot seat down, brother.
Yeah, he's a big Kansas City Chiefs fan.
Sure.
He asked us to talk to you about why did you go to Denver? And the question is, like, that's such a big rivalry, right? When you switch between Kansas City and Denver, it's like when you switch between Dallas and Washington, or when you switch between
Green Bay,
Philadelphia
Chicago.
and New York, right? The big rivalry cities. What was that like for you moving from one side of the rivalry to the other?
And y'all were both winners at the
Oh,
time.
absolutely. Well, if you look at the West, Denver really wasn't it wasn't really our rivalry game. I mean, the Raiders is everybody's rivalry game. It's no question. So how Denver played a part in there because Denver was so good because of the great John Elway and the Denver Broncos. So we knew that they were the better team, and it's a team that we have to beat in the West to win it, to win the division. So now the time has changed, with the Mahomes and his run in the West and clinching all of those titles. I think that once someone once said, like, fall in love with the play. Don't fall in love with the player. Fall in love with your team. And once you fall in love with your team, the players always move. So, it was the first year free agency. They had no idea that I was going to go there, but nevertheless, I end up there. I think it was the right move at the right time for me. I still had to work. I was still married, had kids, I had support. And, it's a business. A lot of people put their hearts into it. Like it was just me. That was a business decision between the Chiefs, me, and the movement, the whole movement. So that's why you see all these free agency going to other teams now, and everybody understand it. So, there was a lot of people panic back in the days when I moved and they say, well, he quit. No, I didn't. I never quit. I just moved. So, but I always lived in the Kansas City area. So Kansas City is home for me. And, of course, I love Chief football and the Broncos too. So I enjoy it all. So it all correlates with each other.
And that's the funny thing too. 97. This is when this all went down, and so much going on. The Chiefs had just had that great year in 95, and the Broncos had the best record in 96, and then fell to Jacksonville in the second round. So you were one of the missing pieces, along with the other great players they brought in, that starts that run 97, 98 of winning 2 Super Bowls. However, it strangely, and maybe it's revisionist history thinking about back then, but I still feel to this day you're as much beloved in Kansas City as in Denver. That's hard to do.
Oh, it is. I mean,
you were really good.
I have it on both worlds, man. I mean, when I leave from here, the love from here, from the Midwest, and I go, I go to Denver or whatever. It's the same feeling. They don't forget. They understand the body of work I've put down. With the Chiefs, it led me to those Super Bowls. I mean, we was actually trying to win them. I mean, we was very close at sometimes.
Really good teams.
Yeah, really good teams, good defensive teams, and of course, I didn't have that luxury of an offense, that I had when I went to Denver. But, the Denver Broncos and John Elway and them, went before me, and they couldn't win it without me. So I let them know when I first came in there, I'm here for business. I'm here to win it all. So whoever want to get on board, this is what we got to do. So it started there, and it was a great rotation that we had. I mean, we had a lot of depth. It was just a perfect team to go to.
Yeah, I said such a great defense. That could apply to either one of those teams. They both were just loaded with dudes.
I think that's a great segue to talk about where Nebraska is right now. Like you saying you went to Denver and you let everyone know that it was time to get to work and we're going to go win a championship. Nebraska is kind of in a situation right now where a lot of the things we see on the field look like they are mental. It's between the ears where the problems are happening. Does it take someone like that? Can it be a player or a coach to come in and say, like, no, this stuff doesn't fly anymore? I mean, can it be internal to the team, or does it come from external?
Absolutely. I think it should be within the team. I really believe that, the seniors that's there, and this is their last road and their last outing. You know what? Kick the coaches out of the meeting room. Kick them out. Have the one-on-one with the younger players and up-and-coming players and say, hey, man, look, we have something that we started in the beginning. Now we hit a slump. And it's adversity. You hit adversity, you have to fight through it. And I tell you, if someone does that and they bring it in and have an understanding and say the things that is necessary, it's the little things for them, because it's, they have the small problems with, getting the sticks, playing behind the sticks and, offside penalties and, getting personal fouls and stuff. It's, that stuff, if you can clean it up and just play a clean football game, mistake free, you have a better chance of winning, especially at home, and everybody wants you to win. So I just think it's an attitude. I think some of the seniors need to step up, and have that meeting, shut the doors and put the coaches out and say, okay, this is it, man. This is how we're going to do it. We got to go play hard and win. I think they will do it this week.
Talking with former Husker and Super Bowl champion, the great Neil Smith, joining us live in studio. He's going to be doing an autograph signing event this afternoon at Macadoodles, which is a beer, fine wine, spirits, 3409 South 72nd Street, right here in Omaha. from 4 to 6 p.m. You're definitely going to want to go check that out for all the reasons. Plus, you never know who you might see. He already has teased some of that. You, as one of the people in your career, you got to play at Memorial Stadium. You got to play at Arrowhead. You got to play at Mile High. Not many people can say that. What is that experience like? How are they all similar but yet different?
Well,
Equally awesome, all of them.
Yeah, it is awesome. I mean, played in front of 78,000 people
All great fans.
weekend, and it was, it was like, wow, man, you come from high school, you see this, like these people really love you. They shut the whole town down, for you, and so it starts setting in. And, the first year I went to Kansas City, I was in a culture shock because it wasn't a very good team, and I looked around and you could throw a brick and you couldn't hit nobody, because I mean, the first 2 years it was struggle. It was a struggle, man. And it was a culture shock then. But you know what? Carl Peterson and, Schottenheimer came in and it just started to turn that program around. And from there, it just started to escalate, so the ground part that I played, when I played it, we started to win. People started getting excited. They started to, tailgating. And now one of the biggest tailgating, teams out there, and
people think it was always like that.
No, it was never like that. We started to tense and everybody now, kind of copy off it a little bit, and they can't control it now. I mean, when you're winning and you're winning championships like they are now in Kansas City, that comes with it. Comes with it. A lot of people come with it. You're gonna have fans forever, and of course they know who I am. I swung the bat a few times. I put my body at work down there. They knew who I was, and I just happened to hear that you guys went back and brought me back to one of the days where, when I was in the Pro Bowl and I get ejected out of the Pro Bowl, it wasn't a very good feeling, But nevertheless, when somebody trying to cheap shot you, in your career in a Pro Bowl game, then I had to exit stage left, and it wasn't nice. But I didn't get paid for that weekend, but I enjoyed the beach though.
Yeah. We played that at the beginning when he got ejected going up against Kevin Gogan. What a battle that must have been on the field, but then with all the other stuff going on with that.
What? Kevin Gogan always had a personal problem with me. I mean, it goes way back. The guy's 6'7", 3+, 400 pounds, got bad feet, and, he never couldn't play with me. And I would always be one to talk to him. It started in Dallas when he was a tackle, and then he went inside, played guard. So you got two guys on, that's he was one of those missing pieces that Dallas needed in the inside. Was a big guy, big body, but he never could come outside on that end and get on that island with me. That's what I always wanted him to do. So I would always jabber at him. Yeah, you got two guys inside. Get out of here. Ask the coach to put you on this island where I can bring you to school and back again. So he never liked to do that. I'm like, he's just a big teddy bear is what it is. And, I ain't got nothing against Kevin Gogan, but he was always one that had a problem with me. So I'm laughing inside while I'm saying this because it's the truth. And I don't know how he feels, but, if he walks in here today, he probably couldn't get in that door, but I ain't scared of his ass. You know what I'm saying?
I love it.
I wish we had a heads up. We could have made a couple calls.
So let's go there then. So how much of the talking to the other guy on the field was just you being a confident person, and how much was it like actually trying to get in their head and affect their play?
Oh man, 99%. When you studying, that's what made me a great player. I studied, a lot of film. I studied a lot of plays. I looked and I was prepared, and I didn't just know who you was or who I was going against. I know my mother's name, grandmother's name, dad's name, and if you come there, I just say, hey, you know what? Tom wouldn't like that. You just try to cut block me like that. Tom would not like your Uncle Tom. So I get a conversation to get him off his game. So it was always talking before a snap, and and then if they don't shut up, you keep on talking, and I'm gonna keep pouncing on your quarterback. The more you talk, the more I keep going.
Who gave it back to you the best?
Oh, no doubt. When I was a rookie, Anthony Munoz was probably the best player that I ever went against, and it was the worst game I've ever had in my life, in my career, of even taking snaps. It's God understood. The man just whipped me up and down the field like a rag dog. It was my first time playing right end, because I'm a dominant left-handed, but I like to play. I was moving around in the beginning, so when we got Derek Thomas, I told him he stays over there and I stay over here. So I was very comfortable and not playing the blind side. Being the run stopper I was, but then the pass rushing ability was there too.
The baseball bat, the swing, the celebration, how'd that come about?
Well, a story. Just I was looking for something, and one night I saw Johnny Carson, do a punch line, and they went, and he did the baseball swing, and I stood up in my bed like, man, that's it. I got to do that. So the very first one was really a golf swing, and it just happened to fall into a baseball swing because of George Brady had just hit his 3,000 hit, and then I was, of course, I had a 4-sack day that day, and then also one of the announcers was like, "Hey, you know what? Is that contributed to George?" I said, "Yeah, tell George I'm gonna go out and get 3,000 sacks," jokingly, you know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna break his record. But I'm like, I end up with 100 and something, but I'm way away from George's record. But it was just something that fell into, and then I brought it up from the golf swing up to the baseball swing, and just giving the fans what they want. That's what it's about. It's about entertaining, making plays, and you can feel them. They there. So when you do something good, you got to get that feedback, and they always been there.
That's so funny. So in an alternate reality, it could have been a golf swing. Neil Smith,
Very
the
first
golf
one.
swing sack
Oh,
celebration.
yeah. Now that's all I do is play golf. I was just envisioning myself early, and I put it in. The first one was a golf. I mean, it was a golf swing, but
yeah.
Yeah.
I know the Chiefs do a lot with their alumni.
Sure.
They're one of the best at taking care of their former players. What's your involvement with the Chiefs alumni, and how often do you get out there to the games?
Man, we have a super ambassador group there in Kansas City. I mean, we got guys that's been there from Chief first Super Bowl that's still of course we lost a lot of the guys like Len Dawson and Otis Taylor this year in passing. But yet we have, still got a crew of guys. Jan Stenerud still there. Bobby Bell and all those guys. That's been that put it out there. In the beginning, and I come along with them, and so we do a lot of community awareness with that group, and we raise money to give back to charities around the city. And myself personally, I've taken over Derek Thomas Threat and Long Foundation, where Derek was a guy that had a vision and a dream. He was, he was a man of the year. He won a man of the year awards. Him and also Will Shields did. And I tell you what, man, we did a great job. Just bringing that awareness back. This year, we're going to feed close to 2,000 families again.
Awesome.
For our Turkey Drive coming up next Tuesday. So it's always something. It's always busy. I might get one day out and probably go hunt with my buddies here, hopefully, Randolph and Derek. So we'll see how the week goes. And I have, grandbaby to have a birthday party. All these things have to be in place to. It's just a busy life, man. You just, you pick and choose your battles.
You, from people our age, John and I are in our 40s, so we are people that grew up with that era of Chiefs football. Do you have fans today that, when you guys do things, that come up to you and say, "We love what they're doing now, but be honest, we kind of wish that this was happening for you guys because you guys are so good." Yeah. It's just in another reality, you could have seen you guys win all those kind of Super Bowls because they had the dudes to do it.
Well, if we had Patrick Mahomes, what a blessing we would have had, right? If we would have, could have, should have,
makes it
right?
easier.
But that makes it a lot easier, man. But here's what I can tell you: in that, we had great number one defensive teams for a long period of time. We had some great coaches that was on those teams that we had coming up, but we never had that luxury of an offensive team like they have now. The game has changed so much tremendously, where everybody, I would hate to be a defender, man, because I used to take personal scores, scoring very, very hard because I didn't like nobody to score against us. So it was just an attitude that we had. But now everybody loves touchdowns. They like touchdowns dances, and you got offensive linemen doing dances, and I mean that to me it's just a new era of football, and and the fans love it. I've never get into the football where you picking players. I just can't do it for some reason. I just like to watch it and be done with it.
As far as former Huskers and with the program and the connection, obviously your son playing there, but some of your teammates, you guys still keep in touch periodically during the season. It's like, wins and losses.
Absolutely. We talk about it and what we think we need it. And it's been some rough years, man, of talking, like where are we at as a program? How can we get back to that, to that winning status? And, to talk to these guys, I've talked to Lawrence Peter a lot. And, I periodically, Keith Jones, I call him, Steve Taylor, and those guys, and talking with, yesterday, those guys get it. They get the feel to where we're at, and we're very close. We're very close, and with the young quarterback, you just have to, like I said, you have to put him in great situations and move him around a little bit more. Don't let him be that pocket quarterback and make him use his legs, move the pocket, and they can win football games.
You have such great insights and obviously all the experience to go with it. Did you ever get into coaching or think about it?
I did. I coached it for a while. I started way back, with my sons and up and coming, and then I got out of it. I did 2-3 years with the Broncos, to being a D-line coach, pass rush specialist, and I just I just wanted to choose a different pathway. I mean, it's a lot of time. It's time consuming, and I was just ready for it at the moment. But man, do I really like to get back into it? Now I'm almost at the age of where, I can understand the new generation, how to talk to them, can't be in the face. So yeah, it'd be nice to fall back into it. But it's something I really think about all the time. But it's a very good question.
Macadoodles, 3409 South 72nd Street. So 4 to 6. Come see you. Get
Come on out,
autographs,
man. Come see
pictures.
me. I'm sure you got a lot of stuff that you
Oh.
had back in the days that you didn't get signed. Was it a baseball bat or a Band-Aid, or some of those old Husker illustrated pictures. Some of that stuff
Yeah.
I love. I love seeing, up and coming when I go to places and different stuff. I was like, man, this is really old. And people keep them in great shape.
All right. So since we're talking about a liquor store, what's the Neil Smith cocktail?
Oh man, I'm a vodka guy.
Okay.
I really am.
All right.
I'm not a very, very hard, but can I do whiskey? Absolutely. When I get with my whiskey buddies here, me and Randolph, we did whiskey last night. So it's this who you are, But this store, I'm telling you, once you see this Macadoodle store, it is a huge place, but it got every single thing that you want, all the top of the line, for your holiday gifts, all of that stuff, man. Come on out and check it out.
That is awesome. The great Neil Smith joining us. You can meet him 4 to 6 later today, 3409 South 72nd Street here in Omaha. It's called Macadoodles. Go see him. I guarantee you, after you spend some time doing that today, you'll be all over YouTube tonight and you'll be watching it all. Huskers highlights, Chiefs highlights, Broncos highlights, Neil Smith highlights. Neil, honor.
Appreciate you guys.
Great to have you in.
Great to have you guys.
Thanks, man.
Me. Thank you.
Neil Smith, another.